From debt to wealth. Is it actually possible? The answer is yes, both in Scripture and in the real world. So why do so many faithful believers carry the heavy burden of debt for 10 years, 20 years, or even longer? They read their Bibles, they go to church every Sunday, they tithe faithfully, but the debt never goes away. Are they missing something? Dave Ramsey went bankrupt at 28 years old. He had built a $4 million real estate portfolio by 26 and lost it all in 90 days when the banks called in his loans. The sheriff showed up at his door to take the furniture. His infant daughter's crib was on the list, and it was in that broken place that he picked up a Bible. What he found there changed everything. He did not invent the principles he teaches. He found them in Scripture, written thousands of years before he was born. Today, I am going to show you exactly what those principles are. 3 people in the Bible and 1 real businessman from American history walked this exact path from debt to wealth. Some started with nothing. Some lost everything. Every one of them made it out the other side. Are you ready to discover these secrets from the ancient world to the modern day? If you are, type I am ready in the comments right now, and let's get into the first step. And make sure you stay for the final secret. It is something almost all of us have heard, but very few actually understand how to use it to escape debt and build lasting wealth. In 2 Kings chapter 4, there is a woman in a crisis most of us would recognize. Her husband is dead. The creditors are at the door, and they are not there to negotiate. They are coming to take her 2 sons as payment for the debt she owes. She goes to the prophet Elisha. She is desperate. She is out of options. And Elisha asks her the strangest question. He does not ask how much she owes. He does not ask for her credit score. He asks, "What do you have in your house?" And she says almost apologetically, "I have nothing at all, except a small jar of oil." That one small jar became the miracle. Elisha told her to gather every empty container she could find, pour from that single jar, and keep pouring until she ran out of containers. The oil did not stop until the vessels were full. She sold the oil. She paid the debt. She and her sons lived on the rest. Here is what I want you to see. The miracle did not start with what she lacked. It started with what she had. Right now in your life, there is a jar of oil. Maybe it is a skill you have been using for free. Maybe it is time you have been wasting. Maybe it is a relationship, a tool, or an idea you have been sitting on. The question God is asking you today is the same question Elisha asked her. What do you have in your house? Tell me in the comments. What is your jar of oil? What do you already have that you have not fully used yet? But here is the problem. You can have the jar of oil and still never use it, because the real obstacle is not what you have. It is who you think you are. And that is exactly what the next story is about. In 1 Samuel chapter 22, David is running for his life. King Saul wants him dead. He has no army, no resources, no throne, even though God had already anointed him as the next king of Israel. He hides in a cave called Adullam, and then something unexpected happens. People start showing up. The scripture says, everyone who was in distress, everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented gathered to him. About 400 men, 400 people who were broke, bitter, and desperate. David did not turn them away. He did not hide from them. He led them. He trained them. He transformed them into one of the most elite fighting forces in the ancient world, the mighty men of David. Now, think about what he was actually working with. These men came in broken, carrying debt, bitterness, and years of bad decisions. Every destructive financial habit you can imagine walked into that cave. Scarcity thinking, short-term survival mode, zero vision for the future. And David did not let it become the culture. He established a new standard, a new identity, And those same men became the people he trusted most when he finally took the throne. Here is the lesson most people miss. David never acted like a fugitive. Even in a cave surrounded by desperate men, he carried himself like a king. Because he knew who he was, even when his circumstances said otherwise. Your environment matters. The people around you shape your financial ceiling more than any budget plan ever will. If everyone in your circle normalizes debt, avoids the conversation about money, and has no vision beyond next month, you will absorb that without even realizing it. Not because you are weak, because that is how human beings work. But identity comes first. Before you change your circle, you need to change how you see yourself. Not as someone trapped by debt, as someone in the process of building something. Even if you are still in the cave, tell me in the comments, are you navigating your finances alone right now? Or do you have people around you who are building something too? David changed his identity. He changed his circle. But identity and environment alone will not build wealth. They will only prepare you to receive it. The next step is the one most financial teachers skip entirely. Most people treat getting out of debt as the finish line. Joseph treated it as the starting line. In Genesis chapter 41, Pharaoh has a dream he cannot interpret. Joseph, who has been in prison for years after being sold into slavery by his own brothers, is brought before the most powerful man in the world. Joseph interprets the dream: 7 years of abundance, 7 years of famine, and then, without being asked, he does something remarkable. He tells Pharaoh exactly what to do about it. Collect 20% during the good years. Store it in the cities. Create a system that outlasts the season of abundance so it can carry you through the season of scarcity. Pharaoh was so struck by this that he put Joseph in charge of the entire economy of Egypt. Joseph did not just survive. He built a system that fed an entire civilization. Joseph stored 20% for 7 years. Same principle, different scale. Today, your version looks like this. Getting out of debt is step 1. But the moment you are free, you need a Joseph plan. A system that captures a percentage of every good season and positions it for the lean ones. Emergency fund first, then debt elimination, then investment. Not as 3 separate goals, as one connected system. Because wealth is not an event. It is a structure that you build and maintain over time. Are you in a season of abundance right now, or a season of famine? Your answer changes what your next step should be. Joseph gave us the system. But here is a question no spreadsheet can answer. What do you do when you have done everything right? Built the plan, followed the steps, stored the grain, and the storm wipes it all out anyway. There is one more story, and it might be the most important one of all. James Cash Penney grew up in a Missouri farmhouse so poor that his father told him at age 8, "You are on your own from here. Buy your own clothes, pay your own way." He took that to heart. By the time he was 27, he had opened his first store in Kemmerer, Wyoming, a small mining town, and named it the Golden Rule. The principle was simple. Treat customers the way you want to be treated. No credit, no hidden fees, honest prices. Biblical values applied to business. Within 2 decades, he had built one of the largest retail empires in America. Over 1,000 stores, hundreds of millions of dollars. His name on buildings from coast to coast. And then the Great Depression hit. Penney lost nearly everything. The collapse was not just financial. It was total. He ended up in a sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan. Physically broken, emotionally shattered, convinced he was not going to survive. One morning, he wandered the hallways and heard singing coming from a small chapel. He walked in. Someone was reading from the Gospel of Matthew. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That was the turning point. Not a new strategy. Not a better system. A return to the foundation he had drifted from. What happened next is the part most people do not know. Penny did not just recover, he rebuilt. He returned to the principles that built his first store: integrity, generosity, stewardship, faith. He became one of the most respected businessmen in America. He lived to 95, and he spent the final decades of his life teaching others, not just how to make money, but how to handle it in a way that honors God. The story of James Cash Penny is not just a comeback story. It is a confirmation. Every principle we have talked about today: the widow's jar of oil, David's identity in the cave, Joseph's 20% system. Penny lived all of them, and when he forgot them, he paid the price. And when he returned to them, everything changed. You cannot build lasting wealth on a foundation that was never meant to hold it. Maybe some of you are in the sanitarium right now. Not the building, but that place. That low point where everything you built has crumbled and you do not know if you have the strength to start again. If that is you, this is not your ending. This is your adullam. This is your sanitarium hallway. This is the moment before the turn. The secret most Christians miss is not a technique. It is a posture: obedient, faithful, trusting, and always willing to return to the foundation when the storms come. Dave Ramsey found these principles in Scripture. James Cash Penny built an empire on them, lost it, and rebuilt it on them again. The widow David, Joseph, all of them started exactly where you are. The path is not hidden. It never was. It is just waiting for you to take the first step. And if you know someone who is struggling with debt, share this video with them. You might be the exact channel of God's blessing they have been praying for. Leave a comment and tell me which step you are on right now. And if this video gave you something today, this video right here is the next one you need.